to What Up Wong.
Today we'll be exploring the mystery of motivation, more specifically whether an individual can be both intrinsically and extrinsically motivated.
First, let's make sure you guys in the audience know what these terms mean.
Intrinsic motivation is when the doer does the activity for their inherent satisfaction, not for some consequence. Extrinsic motivation, on the other hand, is when the doer is doing the activity to get some kind of reward, be it a grade, a trophy, etc.
This slide provides a visual model of how motivation is generally divided into categories of intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Our mystery is to see whether or not these lines can be crossed or merged.
Now we'll introduce our experts. Expert number 1 is Kenzie Gatewood. Welcome to the show, Kenzie.
Thank you.
Expert number 2 is Kinsey Barrett. Thanks for being here, Kinsey.
Thanks for having me.
Expert number 3 is Steve Crone. We appreciate you coming out today. And our last expert is our very own Christina Davis.
Hi. Thanks. Now we'll review some clips, interviews conducted by experts in the field of motivation.
We'll start out with interviewees who are found to be intrinsically motivated.
Roll the clips.
If you had to choose between fully understanding the material or getting a good grade, what would you choose?
Fully understanding the material.
Really? So, like, even if you didn't get a good grade, as long as you, like, learn new things?
I'd rather understand it because I have to know it for, like, definitely for the future, for physical therapy and for future.
Based on Ryan's responses, I, as an expert in the field of motivation, can classify his motivation as intrinsic motivation because when asked about whether he'd rather receive good grades in his anatomy class or whether he'd rather understand the material thoroughly, he chose that he would rather understand the material thoroughly because he has to learn it for his future.
Now we'll review some clips of interviewees that were extrinsically motivated.
How important are your grades to you?
They're pretty important
Why?
because I look forward to pursuing college sports after high school, and my grades allow me to be eligible.
If you had to choose between fully understanding the material and getting a good grade, what would you choose?
Getting a good grade,
Why?
because getting good grades are easier than understanding material.
Based on Nick's responses, I, as an expert in the field of motivation, would classify him as strictly extrinsically motivated. I make this claim because when Nick was asked whether he would rather fully understand the material or get the good grade, he would rather get the good grade because it was easier. He also stated that grades are very important to him because he would like to pursue college sports in the future, and in order to stay eligible for games, he needs the grades. These are both traits of extrinsic motivation.
And last, we'll look at clips of interviewees who are found to be both intrinsically and extrinsically motivated.
Okay, Nafi, can you tell us a class that you feel strongly about?
Chemistry.
Chemistry. Did you choose to take this class, or is it a requirement for your major?
No, I chose to take it.
What or who motivated you to take this class?
No one really. I've just always been good at chemistry, and I enjoy doing it, so I took it for my own pleasure.
How important are your grades to you?
Very important.
If you had to choose between fully understanding the material and getting a good grade, which would you choose and why?
Probably getting a good grade because that's basically what you're here for, and at the end of the day, that's what matters, so.
Based on Nafi's responses, I as an expert concluded that Nafi is both intrinsically and extrinsically motivated. Intrinsically motivated because she decided to take chemistry for her own pleasure and fully understand the material. On the other hand, she is extrinsically motivated because getting a good grade is one of her main focuses.
Okay. Can you tell me about an activity you feel strongly about?
I played football.
Okay. Did you enjoy participating in this activity?
Yeah.
Did you see it as a challenge?
Yeah.
Did you actively participate, or were you just there because there would be a consequence if you didn't go?
I actively participated.
Okay. How important was winning to you?
Pretty important.
Okay. If you had to choose between playing a lot on a losing team or playing minimally on a winning team, what would you choose?
Probably playing a lot on a losing team.
And why is that?
Just because I'd be playing a bunch.
Okay.
Based on Taylor's responses, I, as an expert in the field of motivation, would classify him as being both intrinsically and extrinsically motivated. I make this claim because Taylor participated in football solely because he enjoyed it. However, he also discussed how important winning was to him, which is an extrinsic trait.
To answer our mystery, one can, in fact, be both intrinsically and extrinsically motivated. This answer can allow employers, teachers, and parents to better motivate their employees, children, etc. By finding a more efficient way to motivate these people, work productivity may increase, or perhaps the overall intelligence of our nation's children could even be increased.
Going back to our mystery of whether or not a person can be both intrinsically and extrinsically motivated, we've proven our mystery to be true.
Not only do we find that a person can be both intrinsically and extrinsically motivated, we found that a majority of the people we interviewed were.
We want to thank our experts for coming out and providing us with research and data.
And that's all from today's motivation edition of
What Up, Wong?